Hello, guys. Welcome to another interview with one of our serious FTMO traders, and this time we're having Amari from London in England. Hello, Amari. Welcome at the interview. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm all right. I'm excited to get going.
All right. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, FTMO is a proprietary trading company, and we are providing FTMO accounts to traders who manage to pass our evaluation process with up to $200,000. So, Amari here is one of the traders that actually managed to pass and who is managing an FTMO account. And actually, I believe now it's gonna be your second or third month already.
Um, Third month, yeah,
Third month. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, you have actually had two profit splits already, right?
yeah.
Okay. So, with one, it was the profit of around £11,000. The second one was around £9,000. So, around over £20,000 in total, actually. So, before we get to trading, actually, could you tell us a bit more about yourself? Like, what do you do? What got you to trading and so on?
Yeah. So as I said, my name is Amari. I'm 18 years old and I'm from North London. What do I do? Currently, right now, I'm a full-time trader. I dropped out of college in my second year and did a part-time job for a while, but I left it 2 months ago. I think that was when I received my first payout. So I left my part-time job, so now I'm full-time trading. And I was actually introduced to trading when I'd say I was about 12. So it's
12.
been,
Wow.
yeah, very young. Yeah, it's been a passion of mine for quite a while because I'd seen someone from my area on social media posting about trading, but it was actually binary options, which I didn't know at the time. So I was introduced to binary options, but I didn't really take action. So it's always been a thing of I've wanted to trade since young, but I only took action when I was 18. So I've actually been trading for 8 months now. So actually, it hasn't been a long time. I'm still learning, I'd like to think. So I've been trading for 8 months and I was profitable around 6 months, 6.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when it comes to learning how to trade, I actually just learned on YouTube. I think that YouTube is the best teacher. I think you can find everything on there. But yeah, it's just YouTube videos, just making notes, just revising over and over again. And yeah, that was about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now I saw that you're trading Forex. So when occurred the transition from binary options to Forex? When did you actually start to, learning about Forex itself?
I had a bit of beginner's luck when it came to binary options, and the first day I did actually flip my £200 to about 2K,
Mm,
and I was excited. I mean, who wouldn't be?
yeah.
But the next day I actually blew it. I didn't blow the entire account, but it went back to my initial balance. So I thought, you know what, I don't think binary options is for me because I didn't think that I was able to withhold the discipline that I needed for trading. So then I took a step back and thought I had to look at Forex. And then ever since then, I just haven't looked back really.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, before you went to FTMO, were you trading on your personal account, or I assume you have traded on some demo accounts, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. So you went from demo accounts right to FTMO, or was there a step in between, which was a live account, personal one?
I did quite a few demo accounts. I think I traded on a demo for a good 2 months or so, just to I was playing about with the charts, just getting to know how everything works. But when I thought I was ready to move on, I did then make a personal with about 200.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, I wasn't looking to make money off it. I just wanted to see the difference in psychology when it was real money, and it showed because the trading was just very hard. But yeah, then after that, I thought to myself, the next step to move on from here is FTMO. And I did actually do a free trial. I did three. I think the first one I passed, and then I was still quite fresh. So I did do a 10K challenge, which I failed. So then after that, I did another trial. And then once that was completed, I thought to myself, I like the way that FTMO um, it looks after all your results and you can see how you're doing. So for the third period of the free trial, instead of just stopping after I passed it, I just carried on trading for the month. So I actually had a backlog of evidence to see, okay, you are profitable now and you actually can do it. So after that, I thought I was ready to do a challenge. And yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Now, I'm interested, how would you describe the psychology difference between a live account, a challenge, and an FTMO account?
The live, sorry, say that again.
How would you describe the psychology difference between your personal life account and FTMO challenge, and of course subsequently FTMO account?
Because it wasn't that much money, it didn't really phase me for my personal, but it did change the fact that I would be entering trades more hesitant, and when it came to exiting, I would move my stop loss or just stuff that you do at the beginning when you're learning. So eventually, I learned to overcome that and just to trade like a robot, and then ever since then, it's just been going well. But with the FTMO account, I like to tell myself that if I get emotionally attached to the money, then it won't go well.
Hmm.
I think that's why most people fail. Because when I did actually look into trading, I didn't have the mindset of, okay, I want to make money and I want to make it now. Instead, I thought, you know what, this is an actual passion and I actually want to improve as a trader and like be able to read the market. So the figure of the account or how much I'm making doesn't really phase me. More so, I just look at the percentage of the account, and I still do that today. I just like to track how much I'm actually making per month in terms of percentage.
Hmm. All right. Now, let's go away from trading now just for a minute, and just so our viewers can get to know you a bit more. Uh, what do you do other than trading, of course?
Nowadays, I just trade in the morning. I go to the gym, do a bit of swimming, and then that's about it, really. If my friends hit me up, then I'll just go with them. But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so that means career-wise, you're really intending to be a full-time trader, which you already are, but
Yeah,
that is the way to go for you.
yeah, that's all I see happening.
All right. Okay. So I think we can go now back to trading. As you are located in London, I assume London sessions is the time for you to trade, right? You sit you trade in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, so do you trade only during the London sessions?
Yeah, I trade during London, and if I'm holding a trade, it might go into New York, but other than that, I only trade in London.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now I saw that in most cases, you're trading or you're holding the positions for several minutes as an intraday trader. But here and there, you hold them for several hours as well. So do you have like a strict, I don't know, a policy on that? Like, would you consider yourself a firm intraday trader, or when the opportunity comes, do you also hold the positions for several hours or even over the night?
I would like to say that I'm actually a day trader and scalper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to be honest, it just depends on the setup that occurs. I don't really have a like set of rules that I look out for. It's just if the setup is there, then I'll be happy to hold it. I I just take whatever the market gives me. So if that means I have to like come out of the trade within half an hour, I will do so. But if the opportunity is there to hold it throughout the day, then I will. But in terms of holding it to the next day, I don't really do that because within me, I just don't have the discipline to do so. I found
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I hold it till the next day, I'll just be panicking all night, and yeah, I don't really want to go through that stress. So I'd rather just close it and then come again tomorrow, fresh day, start again.
Okay. So, as you're saying that you think you don't have the discipline right now, does that mean that possibly in the future, as you get better and more experience with trading, uh, you think your strategy or your approach to trading can change?
Um, I've actually never thought of that. I mean, it is a possibility. I'd like to be quite open-minded because, as I did say, it's only been 8 months of me trading. So I'd like to think as I do carry on to get better, that things might change.
Hmm.
Because even now, I'm having to adapt my strategy because of how the market is changing. So yeah, that might happen one day.
Okay, but for now, you just like to stick with whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. So, when trading, are you more of a technical trader, use technical analysis, or are you perhaps looking more at the macros?
No, I'm actually a technical trader, so it's just strictly price action, supply and demand, support and resistance. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
So you're not using several indicators. Your chart is usually more clean than that.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are back with Amari, and we're looking at the euro dollar pair. Um, Amari is gonna show us one of his trades he took on his recent FTMO account. So, Amari, tell us, what are we looking at exactly? Which trade?
Right. This trade that you're looking at here was a 1 to 5 because that's what the setup gave me, and I'll tell you what I saw and why I took it. So usually when I start off the day, I wake up at 7. So I'll have a quick glance at the daily. This isn't right because we're in replay mode. But I'll have a look at the daily. I don't really like to take too much from it because I'm a day trader slash scalper. So if we're in a consolidation zone, I'm not really bothered. Or
Mm-hmm.
if we're ranging, because price it doesn't really mean anything in the higher time frame for me. So I usually go to the hour or 4 hour and I look at areas where if price go beneath, then I'll look to short. If it goes above, then I'll take a long position. And that's how I see the market. I don't like to have a bias or think that I know where the market is going because it's unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, all I do is I mark up areas where, as you can see, if price goes above this zone here, then I'm looking for longs, potentially to here, but I didn't do so. But if it was to break here, then I'd look for shorts. So that's what I did. And then I go to the 5 minutes. And because I trade strictly price action, this is just an indicator for the sessions. What I like to do is I like to read every single candle.
Mm,
So
okay.
for me, every candlestick has a story to tell, as in, depending on what happens, that's the move that we will see. So each candlestick that prints, it tells me what's going to happen. Right now, I'm not too bothered at what's happening because we're in the range as well as I don't see a setup occur. What I look for, the setup to occur, or I wait for the third candlestick to print because usually when we see the third candlestick print and there's momentum within the market, it means it will continue pushing in that direction. So if I see a setup and the third candlestick closes within that setup with the same bias, as in it's bullish, then I'll enter. But right now we don't see anything. This would have faked me out.
Uh-huh.
didn't get in that position because first of all it was too quick, so it didn't give me a chance to enter, as well as I would wait for the third candlestick, which was not red. So then I continued waiting, waiting for a setup to occur. I don't see anything yet. Then we retest this area again, this resistance, and then we come down. Again, I still don't see anything, so I'm waiting.
Let me
Wait.
just interrupt you for a moment. When you're trading, are you looking only at one pair at a time, or are you checking multiple markets?
I have two pairs that I'm looking at a time. So one on my monitor and then the other on the laptop.
Okay, I see. So you're using multiple screens for that. Okay.
Yeah. So here, because on the higher time frame, I remembered that yesterday's candle just broke out of this zone here. What I was looking for was the price to wick up and then come back down, which it did do so whilst it was ranging. So now I'm pretty sure that it will be bearish. So then I know that if this structure here breaks, then I'll get in. And the reason why my stop loss is here, because even though this candle is green, it's a doji towards the downside. So I know that price always respects the third candlestick, as you can see.
Hmm.
But because this wick here is so close to this candle, I just put my stop loss here because it could potentially reach this one too.
Okay.
So then I just wait for it to play out. Then this entry was quite impulsive, but it worked out in my favor. Usually I would wait, but in this scenario, I just entered the trade. And then from here, it just played out. Usually I don't like to set a TP. I usually just trail my stop loss. So what I would do is once I saw that we bought this area here and then we come back up, I would trail it here at break even. And then we come down and then we see it almost engulf. So then I trail it right here. We come down, just a bit of market structure, nothing to be scared of.
Hmm.
Trail it here, and then yeah, just continue trailing until we get to an area where price looks like it may potentially reverse. That's why I got out here at this point because you see price come down here, but I told myself if price then comes up and surpasses this area, then I'm out. And I wasn't sad about leaving money on the table because at the end of the day, a win is a win, and you can't catch the whole move every time.
All right. You said you usually don't set the say profit, so you usually only set a stop loss, and you just wait it out, and you see where the market goes, and you close the position manually.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. So, by the way, how many pips was this particular trade? You remember?
I can have a look. This trade was about 68 pips.
Okay. All right. So, and this was the most profitable trade you've had on the FTMO
Um,
account where you made 11,000 pounds.
no, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, there
Okay.
was a bigger trade.
All right. Um. So, as we saw at the beginning of the day, you're using multiple time frames, and you're drawing a simple support and resistance level, so you can see where the market is ranging. Are you really using any other indicators or other tools that can help you, perhaps to precise your exits or entries?
No, not really. I don't use any indicators at all. I just, because I'm active within the market, I just look at everything the candlesticks are doing. And if price tells me that it may potentially reverse, then I'll just get out. I don't like to set TPs because there's been times where I set a TP, but then price just continues pushing in that direction. And I don't like to close partials. because I like to get the entirety of the move that I set, as in the profits. So I'd rather just trail it, and then if I get stopped out a little bit early, then it is what it is.
Okay, so you do not use partials even with entries. You're always entering a whole position and you're always closing the whole position.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right, okay. Now, another thing that I have noticed while looking at your account matrix is that you're setting very specific volumes to the trades. So how do you calculate the volumes? Because I saw that you're trading like 5.22 lots, something like that. So that you're not trading just whole lots, but
Yeah.
really it's a very very specific number. So why is that?
Yeah. I actually have a lot calculator. So yeah, I use it and I only risk 1% per trade. So it helps me to just manage my lots, my position size.
Okay, so with every trade you're opening, it is strictly set at 1%.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this strategy, this price action that you're showing us, is that the way you've been trading like from the start, or does your trading approach and trading strategy evolve as well?
Um, it has been how I've been trading from the start. However, as time has gone on, it's improved. As in, at the start, I was trading price action, but it was a thing where I wasn't able to read every candlestick as well as I can now, meaning my stop loss would be much bigger than it is. So now I'm able to pinch a tighter stop loss because I know that in certain areas or certain setups, that price just won't come back. So whereas before, if I did see this setup here, I probably would have had my stop loss above here, above
Mm-hmm.
this zone, which would obviously cause a lower risk to reward.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that you were very, I would say, disciplined with the risk and reward because at both of your accounts, I saw that your risk reward, or actually reward to risk was 1.8 something like that. So pretty high, and it was exactly the same, almost exactly the same on both accounts. So uh, just as you said, you're risking 1% with each trade. The risk reward remains the same with each trade as well.
No, it just varies with when I get stopped out or when I feel like exiting the trade.
Mm-hmm. All right, I see. Do you think you could show us the other trade as well?
Yeah, give me a second.
All right. So here we are again on your USD, and this time we're gonna look at your most profitable trade you've had on your FTMO account. So go ahead and show us what was it all about.
Yeah, so as I said, I wake up at 7. So I just take a quick glance at the daily. I don't like to take too much from it, but I could see that we have rejected the area here. And because we've pushed past this area where it's wicked, we are most likely to be bullish. And this candlestick is today's candlestick. I would have seen that we've created a wick. So I knew that if we surpassed here or there was a setup before that point, which indicated was going towards the upside, then I would have taken it. So I did go down to the 1 hour and I just would have marked up where I was looking for a position. So I put here, I marked up here because of these wicks. And I said if price goes below this area here, then I'm looking for a short, potentially to this area right here. You see the wicks. However, it didn't do so. And then I said, if we do see price, it would be this area here. However, it had already surpassed it by the time I'd woken up.
Mm-hmm.
So the safer area would be up here, where if we did surpass this area, then I would be looking for longs. So then after I've done that, I go down to the 5 minute chart. And then I just read every candlestick it prints. What I'm looking for is either a setup and for 3 candlesticks to print.
Okay, so again, let me interrupt you for a moment. When you're looking for or when you're about to enter the position, you're always on the 5 minute chart.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. All right. So the scheme is always pretty much the same. You check the 1 day or the 4 hour chart in the morning, and then you diverse to the 5 minute chart, which is where you actually determine when exactly to enter the position.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes. So please continue.
So right here, if I was impatient, I actually could have got faked out because this candle does engulf this one, which is why I do tell myself to wait for the third candlestick to print. Because as we see, the next candlestick is not in its favor, so it's probably a fake out. So here we see, okay, we've broken out of this resistance here. So for my entry, what I would like to see is for the third candlestick to make a wick towards the downside, preferably on this resistance, which is now support, and then flip. As
Okay.
soon as we see that happen, I enter. This was quite impulsive because I didn't wait for it to close. However, it varies from situation. In this situation, it was alright for me to do so because this wick was on our support that we have. So I knew that I could put my stop loss just below because for one, it's the third candlestick and price always respects the first candlestick if there's momentum, the third candlestick if there's momentum, as well as this right here being support. So we know that we're safe to have our stop loss just beneath it. So from here, this trade was a 1 to 15. Um, it just plays out. And as I said, I don't like the sellers take profit. So after I see this move here occur,
Mm-hmm.
I just troll it, troll my stop loss here, and then I just let it play out. I didn't set a TP at this area here because I wasn't looking out for it because as we see on the 5 minute, it just blows past it without even taking a step back. So
By the way,
that
as I'm looking at this pretty huge candle, I'm thinking that this might have been around some release of some news. How do you incorporate news in your trading? Are you trying to avoid them, or do you take advantage of them as well?
if it's non-restricted news, I don't like to test my luck because I know that if I'm already currently in a trade which is in my favor, I feel like just with my luck it will take me out and then I lose my account. So I just prefer to just close any trade before any restricted news comes up. But if it's not restricted, then I'll stay in the trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you don't really like to test the crazy volatility that may happen.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay, I see.
So here, I would have showed it right here. Then you can see my TPs here. I mean, that's why I exited the trade simply because of a setup that I did not like. I said to myself, because we created a wick here, and this is a setup that I see quite a lot when we're going towards the downside, I said, if we surpass this area here, then I'm out. And that is what price did. It did eventually continue going up to the upside, but I was happy with catching a 1 to 15.
1 to
So
15 is very impressive. So yeah, I
yeah,
can see why you were happy. Okay, so this was your most profitable trade on your FTMO account. So how much did you score on this one?
pardon.
How much did you score on this one, as this was your most profitable trade?
I think it was around 10K.
10K.
Yeah,
Oh, all right. All right, and finally here in your account matrix, we can see that your progress was more or less quite consistent, apart from about two consecutive losses. As I can see, the first one occurring at around the 6,000 pound level, and the second one towards the end. So, do you remember what happened there, or were you like not disciplined enough? Were you not trading according to your plan, or do you remember what happened there?
Yeah, I do remember what happened during this period here. It was about an 8 losing streak, and that was simply because I just wasn't sticking to my plan. I think it was my discipline. Because usually where I would wait for the third candlestick to print, sometimes I'm a bit impulsive and I tend to enter on the second one and get faked out. And that was evident here. It just kept on happening, kept happening. But
Hmm.
when I decided to wait for the third candlestick to print, it helped me not get faked out and then I was able to recover. So it's just slip ups within my psychology. And that's about it. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so you like had to calm down, again, realize what is a strategy because, suffering from 8 consecutive losses and going from I don't know 6, 7 thousand pounds almost back to the start, it must be like really not easy to cope with in your mind. So from your perspective, if somebody let's say suffers from a consecutive losses, 5, 10 losses in a row. You just have to realize what your trading plan is, calm down, and stick with the trading plan.
Yeah. The best advice I could give you is to just take yourself back to square one, center yourself. I say you take the weekend to just do a lot of back testing. You need to look at the trades that you did, see where you went wrong so that you don't make the same mistakes again in the future. And then from there, you can just keep building. You just have to keep reminding yourself that if you don't stick to your plan, then you won't succeed. So if you want to do well, you know the mistakes that you're making. You just have to tell yourself to listen and to be patient. That's all it is. And then it will work in your favor.
All right, lovely. All right, Amari. Before we end the interview, let's just talk a bit about your future. You said you're 18, which I think you might have been almost the youngest guy we have ever interviewed here. So that's pretty admirable. Now,
Thank
your
you.
plans, you said you're planning to be a full-time trader. So, do you plan to stick only with FTMO, or do you perhaps plan to trade on your live account as well? Or do you already know what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I have this plan already in my head.
Okay.
Um, yeah, what I plan to do is I want to continue trading with FTMO and just keep building my account size up to however much the max capital is. But as well as that, at the same time, every month I will be doing a challenge, whether that is for FTMO or someone else. So I'm building my funded capital, and alongside all the profits or most of the profits that I make, I'll be putting it into my personal, growing that at the same time so it compounds over time. And yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, so make money with FTMO and then uh transfer a big portion of it to your personal account, where then you want to manage it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you also have plans to perhaps, if everything goes well, of course, are you planning to teach other people trading as well? If you have, I don't know, let's say some friends, and that you would like to, show them how to actually trade and so on, or do you feel like you're not in a position yet where you could teach others?
Yeah, I've actually had this question quite a lot from people around me about courses or teaching them. Um, I don't think as of yet I feel like I just need to focus on my journey because as I said, it's only been 8 months and I'm not where I need to be. So I feel like when I've proven to myself that okay, yes, now I'm profitable. However, the next step after that is being consistent. Right now, I'm not consistent because I do have slip ups within my psychology from here and there which then obviously affect my trading. So I feel like once that's done and I'm just where I need to be in terms of funding and personal account, then I'll probably start to teach others in terms of like one-to-ones or courses and etc.
Okay. Well, talking about the room for improvement, do you think psychology is where you could improve the most.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's holding me back because there will be times where I get too overconfident and then I will just think to myself that I know where the market is going when really I don't. And that's what gets me in those large like phases of drawdown. So then I just have to remind myself that yes, we're able to read the market. However, we don't know where the market is going, and which is the reason why my strategy is to react based upon what I see. So once I revert back to that, then I'm good. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's my psychology.
Okay, and comparing yourself now and yourself, let's say, I don't know, 6 months ago, do you see a difference in the psychology approach? Like, do you already see improvement?
Yeah, I see a lot of improvements. Earlier, within the earlier months, I wouldn't have been able to pick myself up as quickly as I do now because I feel like I may still do the same mistakes here and there. However, I'm able to regather myself and pick myself back up a lot quicker than I used to. And also now I don't let trading affect me as a person, as in I won't let it affect my day-to-day life because that's just the charts. And I have a whole life to live outside of the charts. So I don't let it affect my life and how I interact with other people around me.
Okay. By the way, how many hours a day you spend at the charts? Is it only in the morning?
Yeah, however, I do like to take a glance at the charts every now and again, but yeah, just only in the morning.
Uh-huh. All right. Um, let's just come back to learning and improving for a moment. As you just said, you have a lot of space to improve. Um, what's gonna be the source of the improving? Where are you gonna be learning? Is it gonna be still YouTube, or are you planning to attend some specific courses, or just gathering the information from the internet as most people do?
Um, I think at the stage that I'm at now, yeah, I do watch YouTube videos here and there. However, I don't feel like I need to join any course. I feel like if I just do enough back testing and I just remember the setups that I see and I remember the rules that I've set for myself, then I should be fine and that there's no need to join any other course because then what I'd be doing is just changing my trading plan and then that would just revert me back to square one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I see. Okay, that makes sense. So you just want to, stick with what you're doing now, and because I understand if you would perhaps, I don't know, attend a course where somebody would be teaching you a whole different way or whole different approach to trading, it would have probably messed with your current strategy. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. All right. Now I bet we do have a lot of people who might be actually in at your age and wondering if they should start trading or not. Um, what would be your advice? Do you think trading is worth it for people? What would you say?
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. However, it is not for the weak-minded, and that's the truth. If you plan to do trading, you need to be able to accept losses. You need to be able to handle yourself because at the end of the day, you are your own boss. You're not gonna have anyone tell you, "Oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong." You have to take note of what you're doing, and you have to take action because if you don't do so, no one else is going to do it for you. That's that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be your own boss and tell yourself what to do. But in terms of if trading is worth it, yeah, it's worth it.
Okay, but from what you're saying, I understand that you're pointing out that it's not for everybody. You do have to have some specific characteristics in order to be
Yeah.
able to handle it.
Yeah, I would recommend everyone giving it a try because there's no harm in trying. But Whether you're going to stick, that's a different story. However, I would advise you, if you are looking to start trading, just make sure you do not quit. That's what I have to say, because there's a reason why the statistic of people failing is so high. Within so much of my journey, there have been moments in time where I could have quit. Like anyone else in my position would have quit. However, I just looked at the bigger picture and saw that, okay, right now I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. However, if I keep trading and I keep trading, one day it will just click. And that's what kept me going. Even though I couldn't see the light and I kept losing, I said to myself, one day it will just click and we'll know what we're doing and we'll be profitable. And that's what happened. So just don't quit. Don't be attached to the money, because if you come into trading thinking, yeah, I need to make all this money, you're going to fail. Just want to be a better trader and want to actually improve as a trader, and then the money will come alongside.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. Because as you were talking about the high percentage of people failing, and I think that's because people get often quickly discouraged from losses. But on the other hand, it makes sense because no one's gonna be good at anything right from the start, right? If you want to be good at, I don't know, playing football, you're not gonna be a born Premier League player after a year or two. But I guess with trading, it hurts a little more because you're actually losing money when you're not at the best. Okay, I see. So, all right, Amari. This has been a pleasure to talk to you. I wish you all the best with your FTMO account. And do you have any last words that you would like to say out there?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And just remember the face and remember the name, because you will see me on the leaderboard again. Whether that is this month, next month, in the future, I will be on the leaderboard. So just remember this face is attached to the name. That's all I have to say.
And that's FTMO.